Hey there folks, Chris here with another update on my crazy fish tank adventures. You remember the Midas cichlid, right? He's about 12 inches long. I'd been trying to get rid of him for a hot second, and it appears that nobody wants him, so I decided to get this crazy idea to throw in my female red devil. Things haven't taken off for them as far as breeding, but I did notice the female eyeing up a larger male red devil in the tank across from it. So I started thinking, what the heck am I doing breeding a red devil with a Midas when I have a giant red devil in this tank? And she even happened to be eyeing him up. So what I'm going to do is do the old switcheroo here. I'm going to net out the red devil in this tank and put it in with the female red devil and put the Midas in this African cichlid tank. I like to use fly fishing nets for doing bigger fish like this because you can kind of curl the fish in the net as you take it out, and it gives the fish zero room to flop around. And I know some of you guys are thinking, hey Chris, we don't need more red devil fry in the industry. I know, what I'm sort of doing here is just flattering myself with seeing if I can get these fish to breed, and it doesn't mean that I'm even going to keep the babies, or the eggs might not even hatch. I'm more or less just flattering myself to see if I can do it, essentially. Lo and behold, the second I threw in the big male, they did start showing immediate breeding behavior. I also realized keeping the water crystal clear in this tank is almost impossible with how much digging they are constantly doing. So I decided to throw in my new favorite aquarium polishing filter. I did a review on this a couple weeks ago. This filter polishes the water like crazy, and it will do it in 1 hour's worth of time. The Midas over here is doing fine in the African cichlid tank. These large cichlids do okay in African cichlid tanks. Primetime Aquatics did a video on it the other day. I've also decided to get crazy and throw in a piece of slate. Like I told you guys, I am going to try and breed these fish. If this piece of slate doesn't do it, I may just throw in a terra-cotta pot, because sometimes these fish really appreciate the security of kind of getting inside the pot, almost like a housing sort of say. But yeah, I'm kind of just sort of trying to dress this tank up. It would be a cool setup to watch these breed, and I can kind of do like a video log of how it goes. The male is sort of hiding right now, but I'm going to give him a little bit of time. 3 hours later. Alright, so a couple hours later, and sure enough, the water is pristine, crystal clear. I'm just sort of blown away by the absolute beauty of this male red devil cichlid. Like, look at him. This is 13 inches of just pristine machine. I think it would be really cool to kind of watch the progress of seeing these fish breed. I don't know. It's like I'm just dabbling here, guys. This is what I like to do. We all each have our own fish projects, and this aquarium filter is crazy. I'll throw a link in the description box. I did a review on this filter a couple of weeks ago. This is a polishing aquarium filter. So it's more or less not for like biological filtration, although that might work. God, those cords in the background are driving me bananas. I'm gonna have to do something about those cords. But yeah, guys, this polishing filter is really helpful for like instances like this where I don't have the mechanical filtration to clean the water column and make the water crystal clear, because I use sponge filtration. Yes, sponge filters will clear your water, but it's not going to be at an aggressive rate like this power head is. Again, the Midas is doing completely fine in the African cichlid tank. I'm not worried whatsoever about that fish. So what I want to do now is just clean up the look of this tank a little bit. Even though that driftwood looks kind of weird, I do like that. What I'm going to do is throw a background behind here, because these cords are driving me bonkers. I'm obsessed with black backgrounds, so what I'm going to use is just some pieces of construction paper. I'll probably just use tacks to put them into the wall. Or actually, it just sits right in there, so I guess we'll probably just go with that. So as you can see, the black background is immediately giving this tank a different look. And also what I'll do is I'll do a 50% water change on the tank. Maybe do a different temperature to kind of like induce breeding into these fish a little bit. I did a 50% water change with a little warmer of water. I went with around 81 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas the fish room usually sits this tank at around 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So wrapping up this project, I switched the Midas cichlid with the red devil. I cleared up the water. It's crystal clear. I threw in a piece of slate for them to lay their eggs on and induce breeding behavior. I did a 50% water change. I added a little bit warmer of water temps. I threw in some black background pieces of paper. They're just construction paper, literally like 60 cents at Walmart. You can see he is already showing behavior signs. He already is digging up that corner a couple hours later. I have the polishing filter in there. It's doing justice because with these fish constantly digging, the water column is full of just debris and such. And what I do is I just plug in that polishing filter whenever I want. Again, there's a link to that filter in the description box. I really believe it's worth the price of it. I believe it's under $20. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any ideas on how I can kind of induce breeding with these large cichlids like this. If you think this is a waste of my time, I don't know, just hit up the comments. Let me know if you've kind of dabbled around and tried to get fish to breed like this. It's kind of cool because cichlids are really easy to breed. And also let me know what you think of red devils.